Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are on page 261 of your student journal, and we're going to be doing lesson 8 and lesson 9 in this video. But our objective will be the same throughout the whole video. So our goal today is, I will compare decimals by converting them to fractions. Okay, so I'm going to read that one more time. So our goal today is I will compare decimals by converting them to fractions. Okay, so let's look at our vocabulary today. Our first word is reminds us what a decimal point is, and we've had that. We've talked about what convert means, to change. We've talked about plotting on number lines, but we're actually not going to do this today. We're not going to use that strategy. But we haven't talked about what our signs mean. So just a quick reminder about our greater than and our less than signs. Equals, we know. I think the less than, how I always remember, is it looks kind of like an L. So I always remember this is my less than sign, and then that means the one that doesn't look like the L, or the opposite, would be the greater than. I also always still remember when I was in first grade that I was taught to grab the bigger one. The alligator grabs the bigger one, so I also use that to help me. Okay, we do have some steps here, and you can refer to these, but I want you to know that we're not going to be using these steps. We're only going to use this strategy today, because I think that this is the better strategy to be using. It's the stronger one, so we're not going to be using the second strategy. If it asks you to use that, you're still just going to refer to the first strategy. Okay, so I'm going to show you what this looks like. Here's my first problem, and it says compare 0.4 and 0.39 by using fractions. Okay. So what do I know about 0.4? And notice they don't give me a table to help me with this. So I'm going to kind of have to remember. Well, I remember in the table, the first place value is called the tenths. That's what the first place value is called, the tenths. So this would be called 4/10. That's how I say that, 4/10. Now, in my second number, this is called my tenths, and that one was called my hundredths. And I say my last place value. So this is said 39 hundredths. That's how I would read that one. Okay, now a few lessons ago, I learned that 4/10 is also the same as 40/100ths, that I could add this final 0 to both of them. So 40/100ths compared to 39/100ths. Now that they have the same denominator, now I can compare them. So I couldn't really compare them when they looked like this, and I couldn't really compare them when they looked like this because they ended at different place values. So I had to do all this work to get their denominators to match. So 40/100ths compared to 39/100ths, well, imagine like a cake being cut into 100 parts. Obviously, whoever gets the 40 pieces out of the 100 is going to have more. So that one's the larger one, so I'm going to grab that one. And this sign does not look like an L, so I'm going to call this my greater than sign. So what this says is 40/100ths is greater than 39/100ths. Which means 4/10 is greater than 39/100ths, which means 0.4 is greater than 0.39. So the sign we would use is our greater than sign right there. Okay, let's look at another one of these. So in my second one, they tell me they want me to use the number line. They say compare 0.2 and 0.25 by using the number line. I'm not going to use that strategy. I'm going to just use the fraction strategy. So I know 0.2 is the tenths. So that would be the same as 2/10. And 0.25, that's the tenths, and that's the hundredths. So I would read that as 25/100ths. Okay, I also know that 2/10, I could add a 0 on the numerator and denominator, and it's the same as 20 hundredths. So now I can compare 20 hundredths to 25 hundredths. So which one is bigger? This one's bigger. I'm going to grab the bigger one, which now that looks like the L, so that's called my less than sign. So this is 20 hundredths is less than 25 hundredths, which means 2/10 is less than 25 hundredths, which means 0.2 is less than 0.25. So our correct sign would be the less than. Okay, so let's try some of these together. Okay, we're on page 262, and here's our first one. And it says, compare 0.59 and 0.6 by using fractions. Okay, so 0.59, this is my tenths place value, and this is my hundredths. So the way I say that is 59 hundredths, which looks like that. Okay, this fraction, that is my tenths. So I just say that as 6/10. Okay, because they have different denominators, I can't really compare them. So I need to change 6/10 to 61 hundredths. And this one I can leave as 59 100ths. Now that they have the same denominator, I can compare them. So which's more, 59 100ths or 61 100ths? I'm going to grab this one because it's larger. That's called my less than sign. So it's 59 100ths is less than 61 100ths, which means 59 100ths is less than 6/10, which means 0.59 is less than 0.6. So our sign should be less than on all of them. Okay, let's look at our next one. All right, it says compare 0.6 and 0.9 by using a number line. Okay, we're not going to use that strategy. We're just going to use what we've been doing. So 0.6, that's my tenths. So I say that as 6/10. This one is 0.9, and that's also my tenths. So it's just 9/10. So they already have the same denominator. So I don't need to change them because I can compare them. 6/10 compared to 9/10. 9/10 is definitely bigger. So let's grab it. So that looks like my L. So it's 6/10 is less than 9/10, which means 0.6 is less than 0.9. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you have this page to do, and then in the next lesson, we're not going to be doing any others because you should be able to do them again. So you're going to turn straight to lesson 9 and you're going to continue working. Remember though, you're not using the number line strategy. Have a great day. Bye-bye.